All right, so we got major debates going on, and everybody always likes controversy and stuff, and major debates and comic book collecting. So there's always like the major debate of what's the real first appearance, right? And there's a lot of stuff, I guess, going around Instagram and Facebook and the internet right now regarding like Wolverine. I guess everybody got excited again because of Deadpool 3 with Wolverine and Deadpool. And now everybody is saying, well, Hulk 180 is the first appearance. No, Hulk 181 is the first appearance. Listen, even back in the day, this is my personal opinion. This is not a fact, but my personal opinion has always been that I think that the CGC decided, because back in the day, remember, the CGC only existed. The CBCS didn't exist yet. And everybody knows I love the CBCS. But I think personally, back in the day, the CGC just got together and was like, okay, guys, we're going to have to decide which is going to be the first appearance, and this is what we're going to put the label on. So I think this is what happens with Hulk and Venom and Gambit. Well, we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it today because, listen, even as a kid, I remember my Series 1 Marvel cards, and on the back of the cards, it even said, Hulk 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine. I remember that, what was it? 299 was the first Venom, not 300. Gambit was the annual, not the 266. So, we're going to talk about some cool books. Let's start with Incredible Hulk number 180. So, they call it the Cameo now. That's the one that had the Marvel Value stamp in it. But, I don't know, man. I don't know. Was it Overstreet? Was it the CGC? I'm not sure. But Overstreet labeled the Hulk 181 as the first appearance. Who knows? Who knows? The Overstreet changed. Now, I was a little guy back then, and I remember that Overstreet called the first appearance Hulk 181. Then I remember the next year, Overstreet called Hulk 180 the first appearance. Then I remember the year after, this is like going back in the 80s, then they called it 181 again. So, I mean, it's weird. It is weird. Marvel themselves called Hulk 180 the first appearance of Wolverine. And they wanted to take the whole cameo stuff away. And then all these Marvel trading cards and Marvel guidebooks and everything came into play. And then you get first full appearance, cameo, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it is borderline dumb, because if you do read comic books, you get a big-ass picture of Wolverine at the end, jumping right out. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, but to me, as a collector, my Hulk 180, that's the first appearance of Wolverine to me. And the Hulk 181 is the first cover appearance to me. Now, obviously, when it comes to selling books, well, yeah, man, Hulk 181 is going to sell much higher because everybody classified it as the first appearance. Okay, but same thing, like X-Men Annual 14. X-Men Annual 14 has tons of pages with Gambit on it. But yet, that's the cameo. And the 266 is the first appearance. And the 266, if you read comics, is like written as if it was before the annual. So once again, it's a CGC thing where CGC recognized the X-Men 266 as the first appearance, and then the annual X-Men Annual 14 as the cameo. But again, to me, that X-Men Annual 14 is always going to be the first appearance to me. But again, when it comes to selling your books, there's no denying that the 266 sells for much higher. So it's just, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Batman 357. Now, one of my favorites, Jason Todd, right? So they call the Batman 357 the first cameo of Jason Todd and the second cameo of Killer Croc, right? So, I mean, it's weird because this Batman 357, right, which is the money book, is always known as the first full appearance of Killer Croc. But there's no difference than the Detective Comics 523. So it's just weird. And then the Detective Comics 524 has him in that crocodile feature thing instead of like the trench coat stuff. So once again, the CGC recognizes that the first full appearance of both Killer Croc and Jason Todd, the 357. But you see again, the CGC recognizes. So I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people turn their backs on the CGC now. Again, remember, it was the only comic book grading company that existed back then, which is why all the original old keys are all graded with the CGC. So, okay, it sets the bar, but then all of the original CGC guys all leave, go over to the CBCS, build that company, and then now leaders leave, and now Beckett takes over. But me personally, I love the CBCS. I use the CBCS. I don't use the CGC anymore, just because I disagree with things that they do as a company. But it all comes into play. And I'm going to go back to Venom now, too, because once again, just like my Marvel cards and back in the day, Amazing Spider-Man 299. Now this again is what is the first Venom. And to me, and on the back of all my original Marvel cards, it was always 299. And I remember, because I love Todd McFarlane, I remember Todd McFarlane even said that the 299 was the first Venom. But then all of these comic book guides and resources all name it ASM 300. So this is what I mean. This is what I mean. The guides, the CGC, the resources. Well, what gives them all the power? What truly gives them all the power? I don't know. This is what fascinated me, is that why hasn't Marvel ever just put the foot down and said, look, this is nonsense. We draw it. We write it. We created it, especially the artists, especially the writers of the book. So, who the hell are these resource people dictating what a fact is. That baffles me. That's baffled me since I was a little kid. Because I know when I'm reading a book, because I actually read books, when I see a new character, I never called that, oh, that was a cameo appearance. No, I'm like, yo, that's the first time this character is in a book. That's its first appearance. But I guess for money and greed, which is the root of all evil, they decided to create upon themselves cameos and second cameos, which I think is bullshit, and even third cameos. Guys, don't laugh. That happened in Doomsday, remember? First cameo, second cameo, third cameo, then you got the first appearance. So, is it all a money game? Yeah, I mean, come on. Yes. The answer to that is yes. Period. Yes. So, this happened in a lot more books, guys. A lot more books, man. A lot more books. Very recently with Black Widow and Yelena, who's coming now to the Thunderbolts. Same thing. What was it? Inhumans number 5, right? Well, is this the full or is this the cameo? Because once again, the CGC labels this issue first appearance of the new Black Widow, Yelena. But surprisingly, they say the face is not shown. Well, guys, there you go again. There you go again. CGC dictating the market. CGC dictating the sales. Do I agree with it? No, of course I don't. Of course I don't. Same thing. Here's another one. Here's another one. You guys like Constantine and Swamp Thing? Because I remember the same shit happened about the appearance of John Constantine, right? So Swamp Thing number 37, right? Where Constantine really appears fully, but everyone calls the Swamp Thing number 25, where he's wearing the trench coat. No, he wears the trench coat actually in 37. Everybody calls the Swamp Thing 25 the cameo of John Constantine, Hellblazer. So, once again, it was dictated that the Swamp Thing 25 is the cameo, but yet the full appearance is that Swamp Thing 37. Just more crazy stuff. More crazy stuff. Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, Mark Spector, right? Well, people call the first Mr. Knight, the moniker Mr. Knight, the Moon Knight number 1. That's the one with like the white cover with the black in the middle that says Moon Knight, right? Well, a lot of people considered Secret Avengers number 19 of the Mr. Knight persona. So, I mean, it's split. It's split, guys. It's split. Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man 2099, where again, they say, first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Well, that's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. Now, if you're a reader, you know Amazing Spider-Man 365, the black hologram cover. You open that right up. You open it right up, and there's a 5-page preview of Spider-Man 2099 showing Spider-Man 2099. It's 5 pages of preview, but yet it was considered and determined Spider-Man 2099 number 1 is the first yeah, it's really not. It really is not. And guys, this goes through a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. Harrison Ford was just named Red Hulk, right? Well, here's more stuff. Here's more stuff, guys. So, Hulk number 1, right? Yes, it is the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk, right? However, when you read the interior story, right? Now, it's not until Hulk number 2 where you see the Red Hulk in the interior story. But yet again, they call Hulk number 1, because of the cover appearance, the first appearance of the Hulk number 1. Now, is all this debatable? Yes. Have we seen this all throughout history? Yes. Cover appearance, first appearance, cameo. Is it all a money game? Yes. Will these debates always exist? Yes. Will it ever change the price values of the books? No. So, listen, it's been many years now. You're not going to... No one is going to change Hulk 181's first appearance of Wolverine to Hulk 180. No one's going to change a lot of things that have now become what I call selling canon. Okay? I created that name up. Selling canon. Because it is these resources and guides and companies who are not Marvel dictating what sells, what is classified as what. And I mean, again, I'll repeat myself. I still, to this day, don't understand why Marvel and the writers and the artists who actually created these characters don't just come out and say, no, that's the first time this character was in the book. Stop dictating because of sales. Storyline is storyline. That's why I tell everybody, listen, whatever you believe is what you believe. Don't allow the market to take away the fun of a comic book. Don't allow the market to dictate to you what you buy. Don't allow the market to dictate to you what you invest in. Just be smart. Just be smart. Because, again, I see a lot of people dumping their money in variants. Well, do you really like it that much for $80, $90, $200, $300, $400? Or do you rather invest your money in concrete, physical, real history of first appearances and what we all consider Grail books, which are true art, first appearances, and are only going up in values over time, which we see concretely. But yet, with these variants, well, they're hot for the first weekend, but then they significantly lose their value as the weeks go by. And as the months go by, they're forgotten about. It's just like a new car rolling off the lot. Once you roll that new car off the lot, it has now depreciated. Friends, invest wisely, collect and buy responsibly, and love what you love. Happy hunting, guys. Nick GQ, out.